ITU FM 90.4, where intelligence of brain meets purity of heart.
Do you want to be a genius like Einstein or Newton, or Bill Gates or Milton? Do you want to get interesting updates about science, arts, business or technology? Do you want to learn, create, innovate? Yes? Then listen to new updates, discoveries and activities inside Information Technology University. All about ITU. A session worth listening. Learn, create, innovate. Monday to Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. Only on ITU FM 90.4.
गुड मॉर्निंग लिसनर्स, आप सुन रहे हैं ITU FM 90.4। मैं हूं आपका होस्ट हामिद सईद। ITU वेंचर्स में आपको खुश आमदीद कहते हैं। आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियोज़ में मौजूद हैं डॉक्टर सारा खावर, जो कि ITU की फैकल्टी मेंबर हैं और यहाँ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और इससे रिलेटेड कोर्सेज़ को डील करती हैं। सो वेलकम टू ITU FM 90.4।
थैंक यू सो मच।
आज डॉक्टर सारा खबर से हम जानेंगे इनके एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के जर्नी के बारे में और पाकिस्तान में मौजूद और दुनिया भर में मौजूद यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के हवाले से आपके जहन में क्या मशवरे होंगे। वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दीज थिंग्स। तो डॉक्टर सारा खबर से मेरा पहला सवाल ये होगा कि आपने अपना जो एक तालीमी जर्नी स्टार्ट किया, इसमें एकदम से ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का आइडिया आपके जहन में कहाँ से आया?
ओके, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एकदम से नहीं आया. माई जर्नी हैज़ ऑलवेज बिन अराउंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बिकॉज आई कम फ्रॉम अ बिजनेस फैमिली. So my grandfather was the first one who actually ventured into this entrepreneurial kind of journey. So he was the one who said that, okay, yeah, there is an opportunity in the market. Why not tap into it? Awesome. So he back in 1950s, he actually ventured into the automobile sector, where Pakistan was not having an automobile industry per se over that time. And he was the one who actually figured out that, okay, there is a need in the market and there's no player in the market who is actually tapping and providing those services to the customers, so why not venture into that? Right. So his entrepreneurial journey, and he's the main inspiration for me as an entrepreneur, because I have seen him building up his business. So my father actually joined in after his studies, so he ventured into the entrepreneurial arena. And we actually had those very natural kind of dinner conversations around entrepreneurship. So that was kind of like a living organism. So entrepreneurship wasn't something that was alien. I actually got to know about the term entrepreneurship. I knew everything around entrepreneurship, but I wasn't really clear that there's a specific term that defines it. And I was exposed to that when I did my undergrad in business and management, and where I actually got to know that, okay, all the things that I know around entrepreneurship, there's a specific term for it. And because I had all those experiences, I knew the understanding of how entrepreneurs work, our conversations around customer relationships, and building up products who are facilitating customers. So I wanted to go into academically understanding what this concept is all about. So that's where the inspiration to study entrepreneurship came in. And I did my master's in international management, where my specialization was in entrepreneurship and innovation. That was in UK. And then I did my PhD because based on my master's degree in international management, I got distinction in that, and my university offered me a PhD scholarship. So I got that, and I ventured into this whole journey of academically understanding entrepreneurship. And throughout that journey, I have been involved in these startup spaces in Pakistan. It was back then when I started off my PhD, that was the time when actually entrepreneurship was something that was picking up in Pakistan, back in 2012. So people didn't know what exactly the startup means, what exactly the VC funding means. So that was a really good time. So I had an exposure to actually growing arena of the startup culture in Pakistan, and due to my education in UK, I had an exposure to the startup culture there. So I had a bit of like back and forth. So I had an exposure to all of these, and I think being an entrepreneurship education is I can add a lot of value to this startup space that is very nascent right now in Pakistan.
Really it is. So एक बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है इस चीज़ की कि हमारे यहाँ जो एकेडेमिया है और जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं उनको ब्रिज किया जाए, बिकॉज देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ गैप बिटवीन दीज टू बॉडीज़. और हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स शायद ये समझते हैं कि कॉलेज ड्रॉप आउट होना बहुत फ़ख्र की बात है, और हमारी एकेडेमिया शायद ये समझती है कि ये एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो हैं ये तो मोस्टली फारिग लोग होते हैं. सो देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ गैप बिटवीन दीज टू पार्टीज़ एंड वी हैव टू ब्रिज देम, and we need people like you to work on these things and to bridge these gaps. So यहाँ मेरा आपसे ये सवाल होगा कि जैसे आपने बताया कि you come from a business family और business family of I guess 60s जिन्होंने बहुत early start किया, तो हमारे यहाँ अभी तक काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग confused हैं between the terms of business and entrepreneurship. So how Dr. Sara Khawar see it?
All right. Okay. So entrepreneurship, yes, it is about starting up a business, but it's much more than that.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is a specific way of thinking towards businesses. So whenever you say that we are entrepreneurial, we are saying that we're necessarily saying that we are innovative, we are problem solvers, we are initiators, we are innovators, we are people who are very proactive, and we think about growth whenever we are starting up a business. So scalability is something that has in mind. So entrepreneurship, yes, it has many forms. It's not just about the small businesses. So yes, one of the ways entrepreneurship can be defined is around the small businesses that we have, the general grocery stores, the small maybe stores around in the market that you see. So these are very low end and small scale businesses where entrepreneurship actually comes into. Then we have the startup, that
right.
The general entrepreneurship, the way we actually understand entrepreneurship is, and that's all based on this ability to scale. And these startups are actually come into being with having growth in mind. That okay, yeah, we are going to scale, and then we're going to go and grow at a certain level. So that's how this different kind of entrepreneurship. Then we have large corporations, and entrepreneurship is over there as well. So the term that we use in corporate entrepreneurship is intrapreneurship. So all the big companies, whenever they go into entrepreneurship, they are actually coming up with new products within those companies, and this is called the intrapreneurship. And then the fourth one is, I would say, social entrepreneurship. That is the form of entrepreneurship where we are actually looking at very specific social needs and designing products around those. People have a misconception around social entrepreneurship is just about the grants, and it's all NGOs and all donation based, but you can actually design business models around it,
right.
And you can earn a lot of money out of that as well, and have an impact in the society at the same time.
Right. So to almost every term you are telling, I have a story to relate with, and just one thing जो कि शायद हमारे listeners कमोबेश हर एक relate कर पाएगा. So my grandfather used to tell me कि बेटा आपकी जो मस्जिद होती है या कोई भी इबादत गाह होती है, आपने अक्सर देखा होगा कि उसके साथ भी कुछ दुकानें होती हैं जिनको किराए पे दिया जाता है. तो मस्जिद जो कि कहने को अल्लाह का घर है, उसको चलाने के लिए भी आपको दुनियावी असबाब की ज़रूरत बहरहाल होती है. So he told me this idea of social entrepreneurship in very early age.
Yes.
So you have to be a social entrepreneur in your young age, but be very cognizant of that you have to make revenue and you have to make it sustainable. Absolutely.
That's very important, because people think that social entrepreneurship has nothing to do with profits. But that's the thing. If you are interested and you are passionate about making an impact through that product or service that you are providing to the society, then you should be thinking about its sustainability. It's no use if you can't sustain and you can't continue the mission that you have in mind. तो ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. हमारे सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो कि पाकिस्तान में भी अपनी NGOs चला रहे हैं, they are very much focused on donations, and they're not thinking about coming up with ideas or maybe products or services that they can earn money from. तो वो यही कहते हैं कि the purpose actually dies. This is a very misconception that they say that if you are thinking in terms of money, then you are actually losing track of the mission. But this is not necessarily true. I can totally relate to your grandfather's story as well. Yeah.
So as we were talking about entrepreneurship, so again I have a story to relate with. I started my professional journey from a very renowned company in Pakistan. So they do matchmaking. So from there I got the idea of developing a product of matchmaking.
Yeah.
So my CEO, I was fortunate enough to directly work with CEO of that organization. Normally people don't directly work with CEO. So I was fortunate enough to work with him. So he often used to tell me, Hamid, apna kuch karo. Hamid, apna kuch karo. Yeah. Then I discussed with few of my seniors, and seniors told me कि कोई भी organization किसी अच्छे एम्प्लॉय को लूज़ नहीं करना चाहती. तो ये आपके CEO हमें समझ नहीं आ रहे कि एक तरफ वो आपको लूज़ भी नहीं करना चाहते और एक तरफ वो आपको ये भी कह रहे हैं कि आप कुछ अपना करो.
बिल्कुल.
तो आई डिस्कस विद हिम एंड ही सेड कि आपने सारी ज़िंदगी तो यहाँ रहना नहीं है, तो आई जस्ट वांट कि आप मेरा इंटरनेट इस्तेमाल करके दूसरी जॉब ना तलाश करो. मैं आपको ये चाहूँगा कि आप मेरा इंटरनेट इस्तेमाल करके अपना बिजनेस बिल्ड कर लो. दैट्स इवन बेटर. सो ही रियली हेल्प मी इन स्टार्टिंग माई own entrepreneurial journey back in 2016. So then I got the idea of matchmaking and I started my own company. So yeah, my company started with as a NGO, you can say. So we registered as a non-profit organization, but then we realized that it's $1 trillion industry, man. So you need to tap in this industry. And when you are making, I'm not saying that $1 trillion, but even if you are making $1 million, so you can impact more people.
Yeah.
So I can totally relate to this story of the entrepreneurship thing. So here we are having a very good conversation with Dr. Sara Khawar. I'm really enjoying this sort of conversation. बहुत कम लोग हैं जो पाकिस्तान के entrepreneurial ecosystem को इतना करीब से समझते हैं. So here we will be having some off-air conversation. हमारे listeners के लिए हम यहाँ लेंगे एक छोटा सा break. सुनते रहिए ITU FM 90.4. We will be right back.
Entertainment and infotainment. ITU FM 90.4, a perfect combo.
It's really important. You need to go out and talk to people, whoever you are producing that product. It would be very unfair that you invest a lot of money, prepare a prototype, and come up with a product that nobody wants. So, and this is a mistake that every entrepreneur, like many entrepreneurs actually make, the startup founders, that they are very passionate about one product. They would come up with, they don't know what exactly is going on in the customer side of things, and they would end up actually losing out so much time and so many resources. Yeah,
so it's a true story, and I have seen it with so many founders and entrepreneurs. So I guess here founder have to play a role, because not every entrepreneur is a founder, but a founder, he or she have a good vision what he or she is building. Then he can convince other fellow entrepreneurs and co-founders as well. So here I have a story to relate with. When we started Shahruh Technologies, so we were being asked कि क्या चीज़ है, क्या करना चाह रहे हैं, तो हमने बताया हर एक को कि हम इस तरह से करना चाह रहे हैं. So on the very first day of Shahruh, when I just discussed the idea with my co-founders, we were offered incubation. कि आप हमारे incubator में आ जाएं और आप तकरीबन अगले 6 माह के लिए incubate हो जाएं. I said no. हमें अभी incubate नहीं होना. We have to work on things, और हमें पहले अपनी team building करनी है, अपनी बाकी चीज़ों पे काम करना है, तो हमें incubate नहीं होना. Almost everyone in this entrepreneurial ecosystem, they criticized me कि आपको startup के पहले दिन पे ही offer आ रहा है और आप accept नहीं कर रहे. I'm telling this story just कि हमारे जो बाकी founders हैं जो सुन रहे होंगे इस टाइम, हमें वो relate कर सकें इस चीज़ के साथ, और शायद में भी कुछ सीख भी सकें इससे. So we refused that offer, और we started working on our own things. We had a CRO. ये हमारे startup ecosystem में I guess we were the first one to have a CRO, Chief Research Officer. So a lot of people were confused कि startup के पास CRO भी होता है. So I was like कि आपका स्टार्टअप आपकी मर्जी, आप कर सकते हैं. You can add people, क्योंकि आप कर रहे हैं, आप बिल्कुल स्क्रैच से कर सकते हैं. So we worked on it almost 2 years, and then we again went to an incubator, and then हमने उन्हें बताया कि जी ये इस तरह से है. तो then वो proposition change हो गई. They simply said आप आएँ, लेकिन आप इसलिए ना आएँ कि आपको यहाँ पे इनक्यूबेट होना है, आप इसलिए आएँ कि हमारे जो बाकी के 12 स्टार्टअप्स हैं आप उनको गाइड करें. So equation totally change हो गया.
Yes.
So then there is a thing जो कि अक्सर मेरा next question उसी के अराउंड होगा. मतलब I'm just gonna tell us little story, और उसी में से फिर question निकलेगा. कि हमारे अक्सर founders को different ऑफर्स मिलते हैं इंटरनेशनल फोरम से, नेशनल फोरम से, जहाँ कहीं ना कहीं वो अपना फोकस लूज़ कर जाते हैं और उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को परसू करने के लिए ज़्यादा काम करना शुरू कर देते हैं एज़ कम्पेयर टू देयर वेरी ऑन स्टार्टअप. सो इन नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर फिनोमेना एंड हाउ यू गोना एड्रेस दिस, क्योंकि आप खुद कर चुके हैं, आपने देखा है बहुत ज़्यादा फाउंडर्स को ये सब करते हुए. तो इसके गिर्द हमारा नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट चल रहा होगा. तो यहाँ हमें एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेना है. सो लिसनर्स कीप लिसनिंग ITU FM 90.4. वी विल बी राइट बैक.
Entertainment and infotainment. ITU FM 90.4. ITU FM 90.4. A perfect combo. ITU FM 90.4. मंजिल है आसमां.
वेलकम बैक लिसनर्स, आप सुन रहे हैं ITFM 90.4। आपका होस्ट हामिद सईद यहाँ स्टूडियो में मौजूद है डॉक्टर सारा खावर के साथ। हम लोग पाकिस्तान में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के हवाले से बात कर रहे हैं। और जैसा कि ब्रेक से पहले मैंने डॉक्टर सारा खावर से ये सवाल किया कि हमारे यहाँ डिफरेंट स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स जो हैं वो अपने मेन आइडिया से डिविएट कर जाते हैं, तो डॉक्टर सारा told me a very good term कि sometimes ये pivot भी होता है. So here I would like to know the difference between these two things कि आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं?
Alright. When you say कि deviate कर गए, वो ये है कि you actually lose out the main idea that you wanted to work on.
Right.
And when you say that you are pivoting, you actually tried to do something that you thought would work, but you recognized after going into the market and talking to people that this won't work or this approach is not the right way to tap into that market. And that's where whatever you learn from that experience, you build something around it. So that's the pivot.
Right.
So without trying, actually going into a different direction, that would be distracting from and deviating from that path that you want to pursue. And that's where this concept of the soft skills that we talk about in entrepreneurship, that are about persistence and talking about this ability, adaptability and flexibility, that should be part of this whole persona of an entrepreneur whenever you're doing this. Because whenever you are in that journey of pursuing entrepreneurship, you will face a lot of problems, you will face a lot of roadblocks on the way, and sometimes it feels like it's the end of the world and you can't actually move forward. But there are so many things that you can move around things, and that's where this mindset game comes in. How do you think about things? How do you think about the opportunities? How do you think about those scenarios? So whenever you look at the scenario, if you're looking for an entrepreneurial mindset, then you'll be looking at an opportunity. What can I do from this, and how it aligns with my vision? This is what I want to do, how it aligns with mine. And that's where you do all of these decisions around picking up that opportunity or not. We have this very much inclination towards saying yes to every opportunity that comes up with the entrepreneurs, and this is a good thing. It makes you grow, it develops you, it widens your horizons and all that, but sometimes it is very distracting, and that's where the entrepreneur needs to be very much aware that he has certain techniques to make him and people around him, kind of like the team that you build around him, they are the very good source of giving you that reality check that, oh, you are not on the right path, and this is not the way that we thought we should go. But yes, we're recognizing and having people on board and pivoting. If you tried something and it didn't work, you should be able to pivot. That's what entrepreneurs do, and they do it on a daily basis. They do it every year as well. When they are coming up with new products, they are doing that. So it's a very useful and very necessary tool for an entrepreneur to have.
Right.
जी.
So यहाँ मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि समटाइम कुछ एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स होते हैं जो कि आपको पिवट करने पे मजबूर कर देते हैं. अभी रिसेंट पैंडेमिक हमारे पास एक बहुत बड़ी एग्जांपल है. So as I was in event technology sector, so we were conducting physical events, big events of thousands, and you know sometimes millions of people. तो लेकिन फिर पेंडेमिक आ गया, अब आप वो चीज़ें उस तरह से नहीं कर सकते. Now we are moving towards online events, Zoom meetings and you know all those things. तो समटाइम कोई एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर भी आपको पिवट करने पे मजबूर कर देता है. रिसेंट पेंडेमिक के केस में पाकिस्तान में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के हवाले से आप इसको कैसे देख रही हैं कि क्या ये पाकिस्तान में इनोवेशन की तरफ लोगों को माइल करेगा, या वो लोग जो जैसे तैसे करके बड़ी मुश्किल से कर रहे थे इसको, वो डीमोटिवेट हो जाएंगे?
अच्छा, मेरा जितना भी एक्सपीरियंस रहा है एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के साथ, आई फील बोथ ऑफ दीज कैटेगरीज आर देयर. My motive as an entrepreneurship educationist is motivate people who think that they have to just survive and that sort of thing. They are in that survival mode, and if they want to survive, then you need to go beyond whatever you have been doing. So digitalization is something that I have discussed. I have highlighted this issue a lot in SMEs, in different webinars that I've done, and yes, we have talked about this, and making founders and businessmen realizing that there is a need. You can't just just do your business. Because of this, there's a new normal coming in, and you need to recognize that, okay, if you want to survive, then you need to have all of these things ready. But there are very encouraging entrepreneurs who have been very proactive into their approach towards their businesses, and they have been taken up, and they have taken this opportunity as kind of like a launch pad for that. So this pandemic has always been like, yes, we have been talking about digitalization, we have been talking about using technology, but we were very reluctant. But this pandemic has actually pushed us towards this. So they said that it's a blessing for them. Right. People recognize that, okay, yeah, this was a blessing for them, blessing in disguise. So it's been an amazing thing. And the fact that we actually were quarantined and we were forced to go online and make use of all those technologies, this has something actually opened up in a horizon in terms of people, because they weren't exposed to all those technologies, but because of this pandemic, they got to know, okay, what use can we have of this technology, and they are very much adopting. And I think this is very important, that this adaptability is very good, and I think as a nation we are very good at adapting. Right. So this is something that we can actually tap into and motivate our entrepreneurs to go towards this and use technology to better their businesses and come up with new products around those areas. Yeah.
Nice. So यहाँ, I guess, as I'm recently working with Information Technology University on my thesis for MS Public Policy thing, mm-hmm. So we came up with a conclusion sort thing कि हमारे यहाँ जो इस पेंडेमिक में सबसे ज़्यादा फ़ायदा हुआ है वो एडटेक को हुआ है, एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी को. सो आई कैन टोटली रिलेट टू व्हाट यू आर सेइंग कि बाकी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को भी फ़ायदा हुआ है, लेकिन हमारा जो एजुकेशन सेक्टर है, टू बी वेरी प्रिसाइज, दे वर क्वाइट रिलक्टेंट टू डू द जूम थिंग्स एंड यू नो ऑल दोज ऑनलाइन थिंग्स. और वो थोड़ा सा हमने उसको अपने लिसनर्स के लिए ज़रा मज़े का भी रखना होता है. तो आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड अ थिंग कि पहले हमें क्लास में मोबाइल यूज़ नहीं करने दिया जाता था, अब मोबाइल में क्लास होती है. तो चीज़ें चेंज हो गई, ठीक है. इट्स टोटली 180 डिग्री फ्लिप, राइट. सो यहाँ हम लोग बस अपनी कन्वर्सेशन को कंक्लूड करना चाहेंगे. फ्यू फाइनल वर्ड्स फॉर द यूथ ऑफ पाकिस्तान.
ऑलराइट, अराउंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Final words would be, don't be afraid of taking new steps. Going out of your comfort zone. It's something that needs a lot of conviction from the entrepreneur. So, but I think the way to growth is to actually move out from that comfort zone. So yes, you have your areas that you're very comfortable with, but if you want to achieve more and be successful in your life, then you need to understand that there in one point in time you need to go beyond your comfort level. And the second one, very important, is time management.
Right.
Time is something that is an invaluable asset. Once lost, you can't get it back. Exactly. So you need to recognize the importance of time and using time to give maximum value to yourself and to your society. So whatever you're doing studies, you are working on a startup, you are already doing your business, or you are in the industry doing a job in an organization. Time and also personal life as well. So time is very much important, and you need to recognize its importance, its use and effective use. That's very important, that you need to learn how to manage your time effectively and efficiently to add value to your life. These are my two final words. Thank you so much.
That's really awesome. We are really thankful to Dr. Sara Khawar for joining us today. It's really an honor to have you at ITU-FM 90.4, and I would like to have you in other sessions as well. So we may have few follow-up sessions on this topic.
Why not? Absolutely.
Right. So listeners, here we are concluding our show. Keep listening. ITU-FM 90.4. Your RJ Hamid Saeed is signing off.
Latest updates और non-stop entertainment. ITU FM 90.4 पर